Okay, only I would get out of bed in the middle of the night and get dressed to do a book review. What's wrong with me? Book 15. Just finished 5 minutes ago. Came down to talk to you. Got all dressed and everything. I'm not one of those people that wears makeup. I haven't worn makeup in 20, 25, 30 years. I know that's putting an age on me, though. But I just finished this. This is book 15. It does end on a little sort of kind of cliffhanger, sort of kind of. Um there's a difficult moment at the end I didn't see coming. It was horrific. Um uh This is the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina K-R-S-T-I-N-A. This is where I read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, no fancy stuff going on here. And this is where you see me in the middle of the night. I've got to go give awards in the morning. I've got to go give out the Outstanding American History Teacher, and then we're going to give out the Outstanding American History Student. So I've got 4 speeches. I'm in charge of the students. I'm historian. So I've got to do the students. And I didn't want to be thinking, I need to go home and do this video. Or I need to get up extra early to do this video. I said, I'm just going to get up and do this video now. So, one of our cute couples, there's a couple of people from previous books that revisit. We have revisiting characters. And because this is the middle of the night, I didn't print out my notes. So you'll have to excuse me on some names. There was over 40 characters in this book, and I just gave up. I was like, I'm just going to enjoy the story. And that's what I did. I just enjoyed the story. So we have the queen is thinking or considering getting married. And she sends for Ursula, our heroine. And of course, she's got her maidservant, Broccoli, and her maidservant, Dale, and then her manservant, Broccoli. And she's also got Sybil and Gladys, and she's got Harry. Harry is getting a little older now, and so he's starting to go on a few of the trips with her. And one of her staff is Tessie, the nursemaid, is getting married. And Matthew Spelton is Christopher Spelton. I'm sorry. He's back in town. He's delivering messages, and he's dreaming about Kate, even though she's married to his cousin Eric, and she's happily married to his cousin Eric, and really doing well. And they're on their way back from the Queen had sent for Ursula. She wanted advice on the marriage. And they're on the way home, and they get stuck in this torrential rain thing. And they end up over at Marjorie's, and things don't go too well there. And someone disappears, and then is later discovered to be murdered. And then they go do some other stuff, and another person is murdered. And we have 2 young couples where the spouse is now deceased. We lost 2 men. We lost a son, and then we lost a husband. 2 separate families. And there was also, this had been in the works for a long time. Apparently, one of the men saw this lady. This lady had a 2-week affair, like years ago. And this guy is putting into her husband's head that he is not the biological father of these children that is in his house. So he just loses it, goes off. The kids look exactly like him. They're the spitting image of him. You can see him in their faces. They're his kids. But the guy loses his marbles, and he's end up getting killed. And then the son is getting killed. And then the other marriage they're trying to help these people out, and in helping them, they go to visit Eric and Kate. And Kate was Ursula's former ward a couple of books ago. And they're doing quite well, and they're studying their property, and they're getting together, and she's with child, the whole 9 yards. And they have to go to this other property to inspect it, because Eric has come into it. And there's a tin mine, and it's all this money, and Eric ends up dead. And it's just like, what? And then Ursula absolutely 100% believes it was murder. And they have clues and items that absolutely prove that it was murder. But the coroner just is like, accidental death, let it go. And Ursula's like, no, 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 this was murder, this was murder, this was murder, this was murder. And she ends up getting called to see the queen again because she still wants her advice on the marriage thing. And apparently someone has tried to poison. The marriage guy is French. And he's rarely seen. He's talked about quite a bit, but he's rarely on stage. One of my authors, if you're sitting down to have a meal with the characters and you're experiencing the meal with them, that is on stage. But if you are told, oh, last week I had lunch with so and so, that's off stage. And that's what's happening. He's off stage quite a bit. He's in a few small little scenes, but he's got 2 assistants, and they play a larger role in it. And apparently one of his assistants has got a nefarious things going on. I don't want to spoil it too much, but the guy has plans. And the queen's best friend, Dudley, he was also a good friend in Beecher Small, Sky O'Malley books. And he has gotten married to Letitia Knowles, and no one has everybody in the world knows but the queen, and they're all tiptoeing around her, not telling her. And she finally finds out, and she goes ballistic, and she wants to put Dudley in the tower because he got married. And she's going through that stuff. And then, of course, the French guy comes in. It would be a union for their countries, and that would obligate France to stand up for England against Spain. And they're doing all this treaty stuff, and she's getting to know him. And even though the guy's kind of ugly, he's got a really good personality, really good voice, blah, blah, blah. But then he has to leave again. And Dudley has dinner with one of his cohorts. And the cohort ends up really, really sick with food poisoning. And Dudley is the lead suspect in it. So the queen calls Ursula back to investigate it, and Ursula does investigate it, and she comes to a reasonable conclusion. And the queen's like, okay. And then they have some other events happen, and then they have this makeup dinner with all the parties involved. And they all get sick. They all get sick. Then Ursula was like, the table shook. And I don't have anything to show it, but my glass and your glass and the table shook. Now, for this really scenario, all right, here, look. Would this be better? Well, no, this is still different. But my glass and your glass got shifted because there was thunderstorms and stiff bumps around. And they switched. But they were identical, and no one could tell that they had been switched. And that's why this party died. This party got sick, but didn't die. But this party died. And then Ursula starts going, I seem to remember blah, 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 and I seem to remember blah, blah, blah. And and she talks to people, and she's still, so the intrigue at court, so that's your first, well, actually, like, there's 3 things. You've got the queen contemplating the marriage with the French guy. Then you've got one or two of his subordinates trying to do stuff for themselves. You see here. And I don't want to spoil it too much, but they do nefarious things and they may or may not be involved in the poisoning. Sorry. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. And then we have the murder back at home with the son and the father being murdered. And then the tin mine accident with the notes being passed around. And once again, the coroner goes, murder, accidental murder. No, it was on purpose, you person. So Ursula's dealing with all this. She's dealing with the murders back at home. She's dealing with the situation at court with the poisonings and the murders at court. She's also dealing with Queen Elizabeth and William Cecil, Lord Burleigh now, and Sir Walsingham. They've always had her back. They have always had her back. Well, due to circumstances at the end of the book, and I'm telling you, Ursula was raped at the end of this book by a surprise party. You didn't see it coming. And so she's going through this personal thing. She's trying to deal with it personally. And then she gets called to the office and Walsingham and Cecil are very, very angry with her because not only has the situation with the Queen gone 6 ways to Sunday, but the situation at home with all the murders at home, she accidentally included a really, 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 really important person that she did not know was an important person. And now Dudley and Cecil say they never want to see her again. So, who's causing the problems at home with those murders that took place back towards home? What's the Queen gonna do? She's concerned. She is in her 40s now. Can she still conceive a child? Does she want to conceive her child? Will she live through the birth of the child? Will the child become her heir or someone kill the child and take over the throne? She has all these concerns. And this guy went back to France to conduct some business, so he's not even in town. And then we've got the issues with the subordinates going on, with the poisonings, everybody. Then we've got the situation at home with Ursula. And the fact that while she solved this case, this other person was implemented. And the person that's implemented, even though they were innocent and they actually saved Ursula, they came to Ursula's rescue. And what I expected and what did not happen, because the book just ends. And this is the first time that Mrs. Buckley has decided to just end it, and there's no resolution. Was very frustrating. So we do not know the end of this book. We do not know the Queen's decision in regards to the marriage, although you can look it up historically and find out what happened in real life. We don't know if Miss Buckley's going to go with that, but we assume that she will go with the real life situation. So you can Google it and find out what happened with the Queen in real life. And we still have the Mary Stuart situation hanging out there. And now we still have the issue of this important person that has been implicated in the situation, who is innocent in the situation. And Ursula really needs to have this talk with the Queen, going, hey, look, this person is innocent. They need to be freed. They saved my life. That conversation was not had in this book. And the anger of Walsingham and William Cecil is evident in the end of the book, and it just ends. It just ends. It very abruptly ends. So you know what we have to do. You know what we have to do? We have to start the next one right away. I'm serious. We gotta hurry up and get here. If you could please hit the like and subscribe and let me know I'm a good job, I'd so appreciate it. Oh, and you've got to check out where is it? Nope, that's not it. I don't even know where it is. Oh, here it is. If you stuck to the end here, I've got my friends that pay homage to me every day, and I love it. I love their little kind words in my comments. If you want to get mentioned in my comments, please support my channel with kind words. Thank you so much. I gotta save those pieces of paper. Hey, those people are just good for something. So, there you go. Book 15. We're on the way to book 16. Have a good one.